The movie opens on June 6, 1944, during the invasion of Normandy. After 2 months of intense fighting with the Allied forces, the Germans are forced to withdraw. Meanwhile, the Allies urgently need a port to maintain supply lines for their troops. When Antwerp is liberated, they discover that the port remains undamaged. However, because the Germans still control the Scheldt, Allied ships cannot access the port of Antwerp. As part of the German army pulls back from the Scheldt, the people of the Netherlands believe liberation is imminent. The scene shifts to Vissingen, Zeeland on September 5, 1944. Citizens begin removing Nazi flags from their buildings and packing away anything linked to the occupation. We then meet a woman named Tointje Visser, who works in the mayor's office. After handing a document to the mayor, he asks Tointje to help his wife pack. He then leaves to prepare his own belongings, while Tointje heads home as well since her father, a doctor, works for the Germans. On her way home, Tointje stops at a bakery where her friend Jana works. Jana is overjoyed, believing the Germans are finally leaving their country. At the same time, Tointje's brother Dirk is photographing German soldiers as they pass through town. One soldier notices him and demands that Dirk hand over his camera. When Dirk refuses, the soldier grabs the camera and smashes it, declaring that the Germans still control the country. Furious, Dirk picks up a stone and throws it at a German driving a truck. The wounded driver loses control and accidentally runs over several German soldiers. Dirk immediately flees, while Tointje is pulled away by her friend as German soldiers chase her brother. Back at home, Tointje's father asks about the gunshots he heard outside. Tointje lies to him to keep him calm. After her father leaves for the hospital, she searches the basement for Dirk, but finds it empty. The story then shifts back to August 11 of the same year on the Russian front in Narva. A Dutch volunteer named Marinus van Staveren is fighting a losing battle alongside his comrades. He manages to destroy an enemy tank, but one of his friends, having lost all morale, walks straight toward the enemy and is killed. Returning to the present, Dirk finally makes it home. Tointje immediately tends to his wound. Dirk begs his sister not to tell their father what really happened. The scene then moves to Dorset, England on September 16th. A glider pilot named William Sinclair, part of the Allied forces, is being reprimanded by his superior, Captain Tony Turner. William is scolded for performing a dangerous role during a training exercise. It is revealed that Captain Turner knows William's father. He promises to bring William home alive by Christmas. Captain Turner informs him that he will only be allowed to go to war with his father's approval. Meanwhile, in a hospital, Marinus dreams about the day he left his family to join the German army and about his fallen friend. After waking up, a doctor approaches him and says that he simply needs more rest. Back with the Visser family, Tointje's father mocks the idea of liberation. It turns out the Allies never reached their area, and the Germans have returned to power. At the same time, the Allied forces discuss Operation Market Garden. Their plan is to retake Arnhem and advance directly toward Berlin after regrouping, hoping to end German rule. Following the meeting, William speaks with the commander, who is revealed to be his father. William tries to convince him to let him fly in the operation. His father refuses, saying that he is not ready yet. Despite this, William tells Captain Turner that his father has agreed. Meanwhile, Marinus befriends another patient in the hospital. The man tells him that no matter how big a lie is, if it is repeated often enough, people will start to believe it. He explains that this idea comes from German propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. The scene then shifts to a young man being arrested by German soldiers. Later, on her way to the mayor's office, Tointje sees the German commandant Oberst Berghoff meeting with Mayor Oostveen. Berghoff demands punishment for anyone involved in the resistance and asks for the mayor's cooperation. Soon after, Tointje overhears that 3 innocent young men will be executed unless the person responsible for the truck incident turns himself in. At home, Tointje urgently tells Dirk to go into hiding. She says their father could help him, but Dirk refuses to trust him because he works for the Germans. Dirk insists that Jana can help instead. The next day, Tointje speaks with Jana about her brother. She becomes confused about the situation between Jana and Dirk. Meanwhile, Marinus has recovered and is scheduled to be transferred to Holland. However, his friend arranges a desk job for him in Zeeland and assures him that the war will soon be over. Shortly afterward, that same friend takes his own life. The story then moves to the start of Operation Market Garden, as Allied forces fly over Zeeland. Marinus, traveling towards Zeeland, and Tointje, working nearby with others, witness the Allied arrival. Sadly, German forces open fire and manage to shoot down several planes, including the one carrying Captain Turner and William. William and his unit survive the crash, but Captain Turner is badly injured. At the Visser household, Commandant Berghoff and his soldiers arrive. Tointje quickly warns Dirk. Berghoff searches for the doctor, but since he is on duty, the Commandant waits. Soon after, Berghoff asks about Tointje's brother just as her father returns home. Dr. Visser treats the Commandant's wound and earns praise for his work. He then orders the doctor to tell his son to report to headquarters. Later that night, the family talks, and Dirk says he wants to turn himself in. He feels guilty that innocent people may die because of his actions. Tointje strongly discourages him from doing so. Their father tells them that he will speak with Commandant Berghoff. However, Tointje does not trust the Commandant at all. Dr. Visser reassures them, saying he knows how to deal with the Germans. He also insists that liberation will arrive soon. The next day, Tointje and her father go to the headquarters. There they see Marinus, who is now working for the Commandant. Dr. Visser nervously nervously tries to negotiate with Berghoff. He pleads with him not to execute his son and to give Dirk life imprisonment instead. When her father begins to cry, Tointje speaks to him in English. She tells him that they are only being manipulated. Commandant Berghoff asks what she said. Tointje lies and claims that her father's night shift is about to begin. Berghoff then asks Marinus to translate. Marinus tells the commandant what Tointje actually said. Commandant Berghoff recognizes Tointje as an employee from the mayor's office. He tells her how much he respects both her work and her father's service to the people. After promising Dr. Visser that Dirk's punishment will be light, Dirk turns himself in. Before leaving, he tells Tointje that there is something in the basement she must give to Jana. Tointje then realizes that her brother is part of the resistance. She discovers that he has been secretly photographing German artillery. Tointje later meets Jana and tells her that she will only hand over the photos if they rescue her brother. Meanwhile, William and his squad finally find a farmhouse where they can rest. They meet a farmer who kindly looks after them. The farmer tells them that Antwerp has already been liberated. He also says the Canadians have crossed the Belgian border. Unfortunately, their position is far from the rest of the Allied forces. Despite this, they decide to continue moving forward. At the same time, Tointje meets with a member of the resistance. She strikes a deal with them to help save Dirk. Later, Commandant Berghoff and Marinus discuss Dirk. Marinus realizes that Berghoff never intends to keep his promise to the Visser family. The following day, William's squad moves and takes shelter in an abandoned house. They spend the night drinking. By morning, William, Captain Turner, and another soldier named Henk Schneider are left behind by their unit. Meanwhile, Tointje steals a map that the resistance asked her to obtain. She delivers it to Jana as part of the agreement to save her brother. We then see Marinus witnessing his comrades torturing Dirk. They demand the names of resistance members. Unable to bear what he sees, Marinus walks away. The scene shifts to William and Henk searching for a boat on Captain Turner's orders. They fail to find one and prepare to return to their captain. Just then, they notice a raft. Realizing that the Germans have captured their captain, they sneak inside to rescue Captain Turner. William orders the German soldier holding Captain Turner hostage to lower his weapon. The German demands that William put his gun down first. Suddenly, the soldier shoots Captain Turner in the head. William immediately shoots the German. Furious, he also kills the second German soldier. Back at headquarters, the German officer torturing Dirk hands a list of names to Marinus. He orders Marinus to locate their addresses. Commandant Berghoff then orders the arrest of everyone named by Dirk. He also commands that Dirk be executed along with them. Meanwhile, William and Henk secure the raft and prepare to head toward the border. Henk refuses to continue the journey. With no other option, William leaves alone and abandons Henk behind. The scene shifts to Marinus, who feels compassion for Dirk. He secretly informs Tointje about her brother's condition. However, a German officer notices him and reports his actions to Commandant Berghoff. As punishment, Berghoff dismisses Marinus from his position. He then forces Marinus to join the firing squad assigned to execute Dirk and the others. Meanwhile, Tointje rushes home and tells her father everything. Dr. Visser attempts to speak with Commandant Berghoff. However, the commandant refuses to meet him. After Dirk is executed, Tointje meets with the resistance. One man tells her that the map must reach the Allies for Dirk's death to have meaning. He explains how she can make contact with the Allied forces. Without hesitation, Tointje accepts the mission. At the same time, William manages to reunite with the Allied forces. Shortly after, Marinus is sent back into active combat. Later that night, as they wait for the right moment, Jana apologizes to Tointje for what happened to Dirk. She thanks Tointje for standing by her side. The two women then steal a boat and attempt to escape. German soldiers spot them and open fire. Jana is shot during the escape. Tointje pushes the boat away so Jana can continue. She then surrenders herself to the soldiers. Meanwhile, William overhears his superiors discussing the difficult battle ahead. The next day, both sides prepare for combat. As soon as the Germans spot the Allied troops, they open fire and the battle begins. As expected, the Allies struggle against the entrenched German forces. William watches his comrades fall one by one before his eyes. The Germans remain protected inside their trenches, waiting for the Allies to advance. The intense firefight continues. Overwhelmed, the Allies order a retreat. Later, they finally discover the boat carrying the dying Jana. On the German side, Tointje is shown being held prisoner.
Jana is taken to the Allied camp, where she manages to deliver the documents.
She then succumbs to her wounds and dies while looking directly at William. With the map finally in their possession, the Allies are able to form a proper plan. Later that night, while the Germans are focused on fighting the enemy at the front, other Allied soldiers successfully flank their positions. Marinus witnesses an officer shoot a fellow soldier who is retreating. As the Allies close in, Marinus also begins to withdraw. William follows him through the chaos. Marinus manages to hide and suddenly steps behind William, aiming his gun at him. He hesitates and lowers his weapon without firing. William then points his own gun at Marinus as he walks away. He also chooses not to shoot. By morning, the Allied forces defeat the Germans. Meanwhile, Marinus returns to the camp and sees a German soldier preparing to execute Teunche. Unable to endure it any longer, he stabs the German soldier. He is shot during the struggle but manages to kill the man. Teunche rushes to treat Marinus' wound. Overcome with emotion, Marinus breaks down as he slowly succumbs to his injuries. When the Allied forces arrive, William sees Teunche still trying to save Marinus. Teunche then walks away alongside the Allied soldiers. William climbs onto a military truck. An on-screen narration reveals that Walcheren was liberated on November 7, 1944. This victory allows Allied ships to finally access the port of Antwerp. As a result, the final offensive against Germany can begin. During the Battle of the Scheldt, many lives are lost, including those of civilians. The film concludes by stating that the Netherlands was fully liberated on May 5, 1945. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this and to help the channel grow.